Today I'm going to be showcasing a strategy that's fun for you, but frustrating for your opponents. It's time to talk about mill in Frostfall. It's no secret that I'm a casual mill enjoyer, and Frostfall adds some really cool tools for mill to function in Elestrals. The first of those is obvious, Avalanche. By pairing this with Humbust, you're able to force your opponent to mill 5 cards with a single play. The real bread and butter here is the combination of Drataya and Ambrosia. The ability to draw 2 cards with Drataya's effect and heal your spirit deck got infinitely stronger with Ambrosia Cornucopia, the new titled Earth Invoke rune that allows you to heal based on Ambrosias in your underworld and draw cards. You can pair this with Drataya and Humbust to draw your deck out and force your opponent to mill simultaneously. It is epic. I do want to mention that I don't think mill is necessarily a top deck, but I do feel like it has some viability, especially in a metagame that may be dominated by a deck called More Frost, which really functions by sending cards to the underworld. If you're able to hold them off and have them help you send the cards to the underworld, you may just be able to mill your opponent out. All right, let's jump into this one. I'm playing up against Sky Guys 64, and you see I draw into my Drataya and my Ambrosia Cornucopia, so I'm just gonna fire it off right away. I do not get any sort of benefit from the heal, but I do get to draw 3 cards right out the gate, and this draw engine is incredibly strong. You see I draw into all my Dratayas. I don't really have any sort of opportunity to utilize the mill aspect of this deck at this point, but I know that if I'm able to draw into another Ambrosia, I can expedite this draw engine even further. My opponent goes for a classic turn 1 Astrabit play, but that plays really well into my deck because, again, my opponent doesn't know I'm running mill at this point. I get to keep that a little secret for a little bit longer, and I get to thin out their deck further with their Astrabit. Every single one of these cards matters. I draw into Cornucopia, and I'm feeling really good right now because I'm going to make this draw engine pop off. I can play my Cornucopia down, and I'm going to be able to heal 1 spirit, which reduces the cost of this play, and I get to draw 5 cards. Yes, this is insane. An incredible turn 2 for me. I get to draw 5 cards off of this play, and in a mill deck, the key is being able to have enough steam to be able to execute the strategy and force your opponent to maximize the turns of Humbust that you have, because generally it's not going to stick to the field too long. I'm feeling pretty good here. I do have my Nectar of the Gods. I debate on whether I want to use it or not. I say, you know what? I'm not going to get greedy. Like, I have a third Drataya in my hand if I need it. I don't want to get too greedy right now because I know that the key to me winning this game, these Dratayas are not going to be it, right? It's going to be executing with Humbust here as I get towards the middle part of the game. So he does go Toxion. He does go Zeus. He's going to be able to load this thing up. That Toxion's a bit scary. Does go for the Disenchant. Going to ping my Drataya down and make it so his Toxion can indeed run over my Drataya. He's going to switch his Rabbit, hoping to make sure that, hey, no matter what I do, he's going to be able to clear it. And as a typical Humbust player, I understand that even though I have a Tsunami, I have some ways to deal with this. I really don't need that Drataya right now. I really need to be focusing on saving my resources to maximize the effectiveness of my Humbust. My opponent does play a Poison Tipped Arrow, which means I'm only getting 4 hits this turn. I'm going to get that first mill off. I hit a Helios, which is really nice. I'm able to actually play my Resting on Your Laurels here. It works out really nicely, and I can clear that Toxia now to prevent it from continuously burning me every single turn, which is really key. Not only do I get the trade of getting rid of the Toxion, but I also get a Force Mill too there. That's exactly what I'm looking for. I'm also sitting on a Resting on Your Laurels, which is really strong, right? This is a card that, or I'm sorry, a Rise from the Ashes. Really strong. This is a card that's going to allow me to cast out my Humbust later on. I'm going to play my Nectar of the Gods. I'm going to force 2 more mill and add to my hand here. And again, at this point, it's all about spirit management. I've got the Drops of Leaf. I've got a couple cool options I can utilize. I'm going to set a Shield of Achilles face down, and I want to get my maximum 4 hits on Humbust because you can only do the effect 4 times. I'm going to use Avalanche now. I was hoping to double up on it because it hits a little harder when you have 2 Humbust, but I'll take it on this one. I'm going to mill my opponent for 5 cards. And one of the nice things is sometimes you'll mill your own Humbust, which opens the door for Rise from the Ashes as well. So you have a couple options there. I'm going to get taken out by that Poison Tipped Arrow, but I know I was able to get a maximum 4 hits out of that. My opponent ultimately milled, I think it was, 11 cards that turn. So that was a really good turn for me. And my opponent's kind of forced to play a little defensively here. They opt to go for an Expend to draw. I think they might have enchanted the Rabbit. I'm not sure which. But ultimately, they are not able to do anything offensively to me. And you'll see that a lot of decks right now in the metagame, they either are putting on a ton of pressure or they're not putting on really a lot of pressure at all, which is why I feel like this deck has some viability. Like, I really do. I really think that there's an opportunity to potentially utilize this deck in a unique way. So I'm going to be able to throw down my Drataya as my normal cast, and then I'm going to use my Rise to get my Humbust out here. The spirit management on this is so crucial. You really have to know exactly what you're doing with your spirit deck. But I do get my Humbus out. It's forced into attack position, and I just happen to have enough spirits to be able to continue this strategy, continue my incredible draw ability. I can get my Ambrosia Cornucopia down. I'm going to be able to draw 5 cards while also regenerating 3 spirits here, right? So I'm going to regenerate 3 spirits. I decided to grab 3 earth in case I draw another Cornucopia. I really probably should have grabbed the fire, if we're being honest, because I probably could have needed it for the Humbus down the road. But I draw into another Ambrosia here, and now we're sitting good. This is the power of this deck. It is absolutely insane, the draw power you get. I get another 4 draws here if I want it, and I'm actually at a point where I might run out of my own deck, right? Like, I might deck myself out at this point, but I know I'm in a good place. I know that any of the pieces that I get right now are only going to help me. You see I'm stacked on runes. I accidentally drew 5 instead of 4, so I'll put one of those back, no problem. And now I have another Avalanche I could utilize, so I'm going to use that. I'm going to force another mill 5. I'm going to be forced to mill 3. I lose an Ambrosia there. I lose a Tsunami, but no big deal. Again, I have a back row. I have a Chains of Prometheus. I have a Tsunami. I have a very strong back row, and I have an infinite card pull in my hand. I decide, you know what? I don't even need my Jotaya anymore. Let me save some of my resources. I'm going to just pop, you know, an Earth Spear from the Jotaya, and I'm going to throw down a Nectar of the Gods. I'm going to draw 2 more cards. I don't want to use my Drops of Leaf. I probably should have Drops of Leaf, if we're being honest. That probably would have been the smarter play over the Nog because there were so many cards that I didn't need, but I kind of wanted to find something different. I think I was looking for that 3rd Cornucopia. My opponent, I don't know what they're fishing for here. I think they realize they're kind of locked out with only 7 cards left. They are going to be able to use their Astravit. They grab a Gorgon's Gaze. It's a little too late for that. They're going to Altar of Stars. They're going to try to move some things around and try to deal a final blow. Astravit's sitting at 4 spirits. Maybe he can hit me big here and try to win the game in the last moment. You know, I get to mill another couple. The Astravit's going to hit. He's going to get another draw off the top with the Rabbit down to just 3 cards. And I'm like, well, that's it. Like, it's over, man. You can't do anything. He goes for the Thunderstorm, aiming to hit one of my runes. He targets my Tsunami, thinking that's going to be game. But no, I just use my Tsunami and respond to him. And that's going to force another mill 2. And my opponent is officially milled out for this one. The Ambrosia Jotaya draw engine is going to bring tons of possibilities to Elestrals and these types of rogue decks. And I think this mill Humbus deck is one to look out for. It is really fun to play if you're the one playing it. If your opponent's on the other side, they're probably a little bit frustrated. This has an opportunity to have a decent matchup against things like Morfrost. I'm definitely going to keep experimenting with it and having fun with it. I hope you guys are too. Maybe not to the liking of all the other Elestrals players, but hey, you know what? It's a fun strategy. I think it's a lot of fun. If you guys enjoyed this one, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys next time.